Hey everybody, Ryan Finnegan, owner of Finnegan Security Solutions. And I wanted to come to you today and talk about a couple of great meetings that I had and some highlights that I had out of these meetings. And so the two meetings I had, I met with one who was a lender and also a real estate agent. And the other one was a committee that I went to that was a variety of administrators across Spokane, so superintendents, local community colleges, local colleges, and I tell you, it was a freaking fantastic meeting because, you know, a lot of the points that I like to bring up, and I wanted to just quickly address today is I have a common underlying theme that when you talk to me about safety or security or workplace violence or active shooter prevention, is that there is technology in the world that you can use, and we refer to it in the anti-terrorism community and protecting people and property from acts of terrorism, whether that's vehicle-borne IEDs, improvised explosive devices, suicide vest, active shooter, is defense in depth. And so a lot of times when we deal with defense in depth, we use and rely on technology and use things to harden targets. Because we know that criminals, much like terrorists, don't want to get caught, don't want to get hurt, and don't want the scenario to take too long. And that is something that we teach in every class across the Blauer tactical systems. Spear system and Spear as a tactic is just to be able to understand that will will significantly enhance your ability when you start to look at how do we make a my business or my school or my church a harder target. Now, some of that can become extremely expensive. You're talking about construction phases, or if you start to install cameras and monitoring systems, which those are all great, don't get me wrong, but there's one key aspect that I focus on first, and that is people. People in training. You've got to have a great understanding of your body, how your body operates, and how it operates under high stress. Because when the cameras detect something, or your screening system, or whatever you're using to make yourself a hard target, either fails or detects a threat, that doesn't stop the threat from occurring. What stops the threat from occurring or mitigating catastrophic events is people's reaction and their immediate reaction. So in order to really increase the effectiveness is starting with a good foundation, and that foundation has got to be to understand how your body operates. Because if I understand my body and how I operate, it allows me to capitalize on it. So I always start with a foundation. People will want to take a self-defense class or an active shooter workplace violence, and the thing they're looking for and want to jump right into is, well, how do we disarm people? Right? How do we do X? And X could be a very complex movement. I won't do it. I like to go back and spend the time in the beginning to get you to understand instinct and intuition, what it is and what it looks like in your body, how to diffuse a situation. Because if I have the ability to talk a situation down, that is my by far safest move to get out of immediate or potential immediate danger and to safety. And the last part is how to defend yourself. So part of that process and being able to defend yourself effectively and efficiently is to understand how your body's going to operate so you can capitalize on it. Because the higher the heart rate goes, the less things work. For instance, the higher my heart rate goes, let's say 145 to 160 beats a minute, I start to get auditory exclusion, which means I can't hear as good. I can't see as well. I start to lose my near sight. So a lot of times this equates to people that want to carry weapons, and they go to the range and they shoot on the range and it's just nice and slow, and they can group 25 rounds in a target the size of a dime. The problem is when their heart rate goes sky high, they can't see their front sights. They're not used to it. They're not used to the shaking, the mass adrenaline dump, the body's sheer will to get out of danger. So it starts to try to get away from danger. So the longer that I stand there, the more that I'm going against my body's desire to get me out of danger. Right? So this is a lot of times, if you notice somebody that walks up to you very quickly, your body won't just naturally stand there. You will start to step back and your hands will start to come up like, whoa, like, why are you getting in my space? At no point during that situation do you think to yourself, I should take a step back, maybe a step to the left or to the right, and I should put my hands up just in case, like, to push them away. At no time do you think that. At no time do you think that if you're in an active shooter situation, that when those rounds start flying and it's loud and it's chaotic and you can smell things and you see the blood, do you think to yourself, I need to take off running and here's exactly where I'm going to run to? Your body will start to turn you and start to get you out of immediate danger. So having a plan and knowing where I'm going and knowing how I'm going to react and training to that is what allows me to react a lot faster than to not have a plan and I just turn and start to run and I really have no place to go. So I want you to anytime you look at training, is not just look at let's do a lot of complex stuff, because the body won't do or respond to complex movements under extreme duress. The body wants simplistic stuff. So when you try to do complex things, it will resort back to doing big mass gross motor movements, right? Not fine complex movements where my finger needs to go here and it needs to go here, because I'm looking at a small area that I'm trying to attack. If I say put your forearm directly across somebody's chest, throat, or face region versus put your thumb right here under the lip, under that pressure point, and push up towards the sky and it hurts like hell. While true it does, is it going to work? Only if you continue to practice and practice and practice. This is why law enforcement officers are good at pressure point control tactics, because they train at them a lot. Right? They know where to hit the mandibular angle behind the jaw at the L to push in and push up towards the brain. They know that works. Why? Because they continue to train on it. Right? But when they go sky high and they're in a fight for their lives and somebody's trying to grab their gun, do they go, I should go for the mandibular angle, or I should go for a brachial plexus stun in the side of the neck, because if I know I hit it just right, I can render him unconscious because I'm going to shake his brain. Right? They don't. They just go into gross primal protective mode that says, I've got to protect myself. Right? So I wanted to bring up a couple of just great key points that I talked about today, across the spectrum of people. And it all came down to one thing. You've got to understand your body and how your body operates before you can do anything else. And that was great, because that was between a real estate agent, which shows houses, to people that they don't know in an area that they may not be familiar with or am able to call help, to administrators, security equipment, which those dudes are doing some really cool stuff. The message is the same, as you've got to understand how the body operates so you can capitalize on the body first, and then you start to really rely on technology and doing things that assist you in making a hard target, because you can have the hardest target that you want in the world, but trust me, bad guys will outthink you because they want to hurt you. Period. So a lot of times it's hard for you to understand or to grasp that or to think about that. But like myself, having spent, I don't know, probably 9 years plus in the anti-terrorism world, right? We think about what is the worst case scenario and how do we defend against it. And that's where when you come in and you go, oh, it would never happen because we have a single point of entry. Well, at some point, those doors have to open, right? If that single point of entry fails, then what? If you don't have a secondary or third plan and the people that work within your organization or go to your church or provide security for your church or your business don't know, then that's okay. They just need to be trained, and the training needs to be kept simple. Simple plans executed work. Complex plans that require a lot of moving pieces and people to remember things when their heart rate is up here are most likely not going to work, or not going to work as you wanted them to and effectively. They may work just because somebody's sheer will and desire to live will make them work, but if they're not trained on them and they're not in a nature where as my stress level goes up and my heart rate climbs over my stress level, I can say, here's where I need to go, and here's how I'm going to get there, and here's how I'm going to bring people with me, or here's how I'm going to address the threat. So that is all I've got. I hope you all are having a great day and a great week, and I want to remind you to just keep things simple. Don't look for complex, because complex don't work. Keep things simple. So that is all I got for now. I hope you have an amazing day. If you have any questions, feel free to call me at area code 619-729-1513. Shoot me an email at fss_USA@yahoo.com. Or you can shoot us a message on any of our social media. We have 3 of them. Instagram is FSS_USA. And then we have 2 Facebook pages, FSS USA, which focuses on personal security and self-defense, and FSS Business, which deals with strictly workplace violence and active shooter prevention and response. So that is all I've got. I hope you have an amazing day. Be prepared, live safe, be empowered.